Hey there, my name's Ollie, and in this video I'd like to give a quick overview of the new character rig I've released. In this file you'll find the character, as well as the custom Rigui and custom toon shader used for this character. So to start the overview, I'll begin with one of the most important features, the Rigui, which you can find on the right. The first panel is the Rigui layers, so this allows you to show and hide various control sets. Underneath this we have the performance panel, which controls the resolution the character is rendered at, as well as whether that resolution is used in the viewport or not. This is disabled by default, showing the lowest resolution version to aid in performance. After this we have the visibility panel, which allows for animation masking, so if we want to hide the arms and the armor whilst we're focusing on the torso, or perhaps we want to hide everything apart from the legs whilst we're working on the legs. This panel is also used to enable and disable the character's features, such as the character's mask, the shoulder armor, as well as the weapons. And the final part of the Rigui is the properties panel. So to see all of the character's properties, you can select the cog, and this will show all properties categorized. If you select each control, the relevant properties will be displayed. So if I select the right arm, I get the right arm's IK and IK stretch controls. If I select the katana, I get the katana's custom properties, etc. Moving on to the control rig. Most parts of the character are split into 3 layers. We have primary controls, which we can rotate, move and scale. Underneath this we have the secondary controls, where we can control the individual joints within that chain. And then lastly we have the tweaker controls, which allow for more precise kind of sculpting of the shape that you're looking for. The tweaker controls also exist on all major parts of the character, such as the arms and the legs, as well as the character's mouth, face, and hair. Moving on to the legs, we have IK enabled by default with stretching. This can be disabled in the custom properties by disabling the stretch, and now the joint will no longer stretch to the control. Looking at the foot, we have a primary controller which rotates and moves from the heel, and then we have the foot roll control, which we can use to roll the foot on the heel over the toes. This can also be used to roll the foot side to side. If you need additional pivot points, we also have the tip of the toe, the ball of the foot, and the individual toe controls. The pole vectors for the IK setup by default are parented to the root, so when you move the foot or the leg, the pole is moved independently. If you want the pole to follow the foot, you can change the IK parent from root to foot, and now when the foot moves, the knee will stay in line. And next we have the character's arms. So by default the arms are in FK, and they have isolation enabled from the rotation of the torso. If you want the arms to follow the torso, you can enable arm follow, and now the arm will follow the rotation of the torso. Another feature of the arm is the way the guard rotates. So by default it will try and pivot from the top of the shoulder. However, if you want it to just be stuck to the arm, you can disable this, and now the guard will just move exactly with the arm where it is, and you can counter animate if you want. The arms also have IK and FK switching, as well as IK FK snapping. So if I enable the left arm's IK controls, and now I reposition the arm in some way in FK, and the hand that. But now I want the IK controls to match this position exactly. I can select any control and use the snap button. So this will automatically detect what you're trying to snap. So if I select any of the arm controls and click the button, it will snap to the IK position, like so. However, if I want to snap the IK to the FK, I can select any of the IK controls, click, and it will snap it to match this position. Now if we switch the arm, it's currently still an FK, from FK to IK, we have a pretty clean switch. Next we can look at the hand. The fingers are controlled using the scale and rotation of these controls. So if I scale them in, the fingers will curl. If we rotate, the face of the fingers will move. This is the same for the thumb. The fingers also have this palm control, which allows you to do some curling fall off, as well as kind of spread the fingers if need be. Similar to the torso, the hands also have secondary controllers as well as tweak controls. Next we have the face controls. The eyes by default will target this controller. If you want control of the irises, you can select them and scale. The irises can also be disabled in the custom properties if you want a different look. And the eyelids have individual controls, both upper and lower. These can be used to shape the character's eyes. Here we also have the secondary controls, which allow you to move the position of the eye, as well as the tweak controls. This moves us down to the mouth. The mouth control has an upper lip, lower lip, as well as a corner control which can be moved and scaled, and then a jaw controller, which if rotated creates a rounded mouth, whereas if you translate you get more of a diamond shape that you can adjust yourself if you don't want the automated motion that comes with the rotation. The face also has a number of custom properties, so if we want to create like a shadow effect over the eyes, we can enable that in the custom properties with the eye shadow. Perhaps for this look we can enable the mask. Then we can control whether we want the eyes to show or not, so we could hide the iris shown before as well as the specular of the iris. But then we can either change the eyes to be completely black to have that classic look, or we can change the eyes to red, and then we can increase the glow of the eyes. The style of the eye can also be changed, so we can change it from this round shape into more of a spiral, and giving it a more menacing look. So another feature is the Katana Blade. During animation you might need to change the parent of the blade multiple times, whether it's to the body, the hip, one of the hand, or to the sheath itself. So currently it's parented to the root. If we move the root, it'll move, but if we move the character, nothing moves. If we parent it, for example, to the hips, now when the hips rotate, the sword will move. So this is useful for if you want to position the katana on the character's hips and have it follow that motion. So the katana has IK FK switching. At the minute it's in FK with the hands controlling the position of the sword. However, in this pose where I'm unsheathing the blade, it might be easier to move the sword and have the hand follow the sword instead. So to do this switch, we can follow a couple of steps. Currently if we switch from IK to FK, the hand's in the wrong place, so the first thing is to snap the IK to the FK position. Next we want to show the IK katana control, which is down here. So if we just select it and hit snap, we'll move into about the right place. And now we can change the katana from FK to IK. Now it will move because its position is relative to the IK control, but we can just reset its rotation, scale and position to get it back where we need it. Now I can hide the FK control. So now we need to change the parent of the hand to be the katana. So if we select the hand, we can change its parent from root over to katana IK number 6. Again, there's an offset, but we can resolve this by snapping. If I show the FK controls are still in the correct position, so if I snap the IK back to the FK, the position is cleaned up. And now when I move the sword, the arm will follow, which makes it a lot easier to unsheath the sword. So next we can have a look at the light controls. So for this I'll split the screen actually. Go to the camera view. And in this screen, play with the lighting. So we have these two controllers, one for the main light and one for the rim light. So to kind of control the look of this render, I'll maybe bring the rim light really extreme like this, and then I can rotate the primary light to give us some shadow over the top as well, like so. We could also control the color of this in the Rigui, so I could change the rim light color to maybe a blue, or actually be a red, yeah, like that. Let's put the base controls back in, maybe change the color of the eyes to red as well. And we can see we've got a more dramatic look. We can also change the color of the main light. So if I want a bit of blue in the light, I can control that here. If I don't want it to be as intense, I can control how much that light bleeds onto the character with this value here. And with that, that's a brief overview of the rig. Hopefully you guys like it and you find it useful. If you make anything cool with it, let me know.